Hi, good people. Welcome to this video. This video, I want to discuss how the Kenya's government or our government can actually fix the economy. Because I've seen different government come and we are not achieving the fast economic growth the way we are supposed to be. So I will discuss this in a way that I will show the inadequacy of um, of relying on monetary and physical policies to to influence economic growth. So just like everywhere, our government or Kenya's government relies on monetary and physical policies to influence macroeconomics outcomes and also stabilize economic growth. Like the central bank rates, the central bank rates moves can influence and manage private sector lending, while the government applies the fiscal policy to direct economic performance. But monetary and fiscal policies, these two policies alone, are insufficient to fix Kenya's economy because of the challenges deeply rooted in our economic, social, political, and cultural systems. So, in order to have a good system that enables us to achieve better economic growth, we need first to understand the challenges that we face, the foundational challenges that we face as a country, the challenges that make it extremely difficult to fix our economy. So here are some of the challenges. I will highlight a few challenges, key challenges that I've found in my research. So the first one, and I've repeated this in my previous videos, and it's one of the topmost issue, and it's also ignored, widely ignored. It's the issue of broken and dysfunctional family, the widespread rate or the high rate of broken and dysfunctional family in our society. You know, these families or broken and dysfunctional families are on the rise in our country, as evidenced by the drop in marriage rates. According to 2024 Kenya Vital Statistics report by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, now the proportion of married women aged 15 to 49 dropped from 63.1% in 1989 to 48.1% in 2022. That's a huge drop. And this trend is driven by various factors like economic pressures, like conflict, emphasis on individualism. People don't want matters of to be involved in marriage, especially young people. There's also HIV and AIDS, and also undue influence of social media. And family instability, together with the decline in marriage rate, undermines the country's productivity and also long-term development by harming human capital development. Also, family breakup is associated with reduced household income, loss of economies of scale, and increased financial strain. This hinders economic productivity by slowing or harming innovation and investment. Another thing about this issue is that the economic strain within broken and dysfunctional families can lead to negative parenting and child neglect, increased child behavior problems, and also mental health issues, and also reduced investment in education and health. So we can find that the whole thing will impair the child's future economic contribution or productivity in future. So the whole issue of families, unstable families, and low, like single parenthood, will affect the productivity of our future generation, and that means that the economic growth that we are achieving now, it will be unsustainable in future, and we will not have the human capital to sustain our economic growth that we are able to achieve. So the next issue is inequality in education and health. So inequality is significant. It's a significant issue in our education and health sectors. Like a survey by the US Agency for International Development indicated that 8.5% of school-aged children, those who are between 6 and 15 years, were out of school. And most of these children are from low-income households and communities. And education outcomes are also much lower for low-income populations and in rural areas. So learners who attend rural public schools tend to receive a lower quality education compared to those in private schools due to issues such as poor infrastructure and a lack of qualified teachers. Education inequality hinders or it hinder talent discovery because most of the children who are skilled and are gifted, they don't have the chance to 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 showcase or grow their talents and acquire skills and also showcase their talent, build their talent. And this can affect innovation and also production in the country. So, and leading to issues like high unemployment and income inequality. So we can't continue playing games with our education system. We need to deal with the issue of education inequality if we want to achieve better economic growth or sustainable economic growth, fast and sustainable economic growth. Health inequality, on the other hand, is another obstacle to economic development because majority of low income and rural households cannot afford fees for better healthcare and preventive services. And the increased health burden among these populations translates to increased government spending and increased productivity. And this even contributes to, to the country's overall debt. So the next one is poor governance and corruption. Corruption is widespread. It's rampant in public offices and parastatus. And we know we have, according to our own leaders, that we have been losing approximately 2 billion per day to corruption. And this is catastrophic. And corruption hinders development by cutting the government spending on key sectors like infrastructure, education, and health. And these corrupt individuals accumulate wealth without even engaging in productive activities, and this leads to unemployment. And our country currently, in a study currently, according to the Corruption Perception Index 2025 by the Transparency International, our country ranks 121, position 121 out of 180 countries, and we we can develop effectively without dealing with this giant of corruption. We must make decisive efforts to take decisive actions to deal or to fight corruption. And this is the responsibility mainly of everyone, but mainly our leader, our president, our MPs, our cabinet secretaries, all those leaders who the next issue is low innovation and productivity. Kenya ranked only, we ranked on position 102 out of 138 countries in the Global Innovation Index 2025. And local firms and SMEs struggle with low levels of innovation and low or fluctuating productivity due to a shortage of talent and expertise. Also, the low productivity is associated with low levels of innovation, and this has led to a strong dependence on imports, on manufactured goods and technology. And everywhere you go, you find that almost all goods that we use in our households are imported goods, and we can't grow as a nation when we rely more on imported goods. So this is another issue. The next one is gambling. I've created a whole video on this one. The widespread gambling in our, so another issue is the high cost of mobile money services. I've written a whole article on this issue. I'll leave a link in the description and how we can address the issue. Because when I was doing my research, I found that when we compare to other nations like China, like US, then those nations have digital platforms similar to money mobile platform, and these platforms, they charge very low fees. In fact, most of them, like when you consider the person to person transfers, they are free. Like China has Alipay, they have WeChat, and they transferring money between consumers or between one person to another, it's free. But in our country, transferring money, especially in our main mobile money service provider, that's M-Pesa, it's charged, and this is affecting many people who do or who rely on those services to do small transactions, many small transactions on a daily basis. These fees that are charged on small transactions, they represent a large percentage or of the amount spent or withdrawn. For instance, withdrawing 200 shillings from an agent will cost you around 29 shillings, which represent approximately 14.5% of the withdrawn money of that amount. And in contrast, withdrawing 50,000 to 250,000 will attract a fee of 309 shillings, which is just 0.62%. This means that the regressive transaction fees eats away the income of low income people, which hinder their ability even to save. And eventually, this will hinder their ability to build capital needed to invest and to to increase their productivity in future. The final one, I believe this is the final issue, is of over reliance on rain-fed agriculture. We still heavily depend on rain-fed agriculture, and agriculture is crucial for Kenya's economy and also job creation. It's one of the key factors in our economy. But if we rely on rain-fed agriculture, we make this sector is vulnerable to unpredictable weather patterns and also climate change, and it's also affected by issues like limited infrastructure, the lack of modern farming techniques, which limit its potential, thereby worsening food security and also inflation in our country. So those are the key issues. So what can we do as a country? I will share some of the policy recommendations that I believe can help us to deal with these issues and also achieve sustainable, let me say, rapid and sustainable economic growth. So the first one is to promote marriage and also strengthen family stability. I've shared this in my previous videos, so I don't have to repeat myself. This, but strong families will will increase aggregate savings, consumption, labor supply, and also human capital accumulation, and this will lead to fast economic growth. So the government must collaborate with other stakeholders, the church, to promote marriage and also strengthen family unity. But just I don't want to forget. I'm starting the even the policies that the government is implementing, or even the policy by the government is driving this issue by, like, for instance, we have a policy of labor export. Right now, we are exporting labor to other countries, Qatar, UAE, especially on those countries. But if you look closely, this policy is destroying families, and in fact, it is harming our economy because when one person goes to those nations, in many situations, when they come back after a few years, you find that their partners either moved on and that marriage collapses. And this is mainly affecting young people. And there is no nation can grow without families because it's the family unit is the fundamental unit of the society and also productivity in a nation. It affects all the elements of the economy, including consumption, including spending, including productivity. So we must do something to fix this issue in order to protect even our future generation. So the next one is to develop an equitable education system. The government must ensure equity of access and quality in the education system. Every student, regardless of their background, should have a fair chance to receive high quality learning experiences and resources and to achieve their full potential. We need significant investment to build and modernize infrastructure in public schools. And educational equality will enhance economic performance by promoting talent discovery, creating a more productive workforce, and driving innovation and also enhancing social mobility. The next one is to ban gambling. The government must ban gambling in our country, and this will ensure money deposited in gambling sites will find its way into the economy. It will also ensure young people have enough money to save for future investments. And in that way, young people will be creating jobs for themselves. And this is a good way we can actually create more jobs, address the issue of youth unemployment in our country. This will also allow more young people to invest in the real economy and generate real wealth. So the next one is to promote innovation. The government can need to promote innovation through tax incentives, research and development grants, and partnership between industry and also academia, that's education institutions. The next policy is to increase our investment in irrigation and climate resilience. We must, as a, the government has many projects on irrigation, including dams, building dams. We need to fast track the completion of these dams and we shift those irrigation schemes. And we need to promote climate smart agriculture and a green economy in a way that we are able to absorb the shocks or survive issues like climate change. We in a way that we are able to be productive, to produce food even when even during times of or adverse weather patterns. We must support irrigation across the country, especially in arid and semi-arid areas. I believe I, I believe that amidst all the chaos being experienced globally, including conflict, climate change, pandemics, and all the trade tensions between China and the US, we should we must position ourselves to feed the nations because the issue of food shortage will arise in the future, and we must position ourselves to benefit from the whole mess. This is the right time to make quick moves in order to position ourselves to take advantage of this whole issue. So, and by we can also and we can add value to the agricultural products that we produce for exports. When we are food sufficient, we can add value to agricultural products for exports, which will increase our foreign reserves. And this will also increase the government revenue and reduce the, the current physical strain. And thus the government can have enough funds to offer services, to do development, and also to pay our debts. Finally, on the issue of high cost of mobile money transactions, I acknowledge that the Central Bank of Kenya has proposed policy to cut person-to-person transaction fees. It's a good move, but the government must move to make all transactions cheaper. And we need to introduce near zero fees for all person to person transactions, specifically for small to medium amounts. So the government must enhance competition in the sector and promote innovation that will bring new and cheaper platforms. We need cheaper, if we can have new cheaper platforms. We can't stick to the the whole thing and say, oh, this is our own. We need to promote innovation and bring even new platforms targeting vulnerable populations, small farmers, and micro enterprises. I've wrote a an article on this issue, and I will share the a link in the description below. So that's all for me for this video. I believe these policies we can fix our economy, and we can achieve better and sustainable economic growth. We can address the issues like youth and employment. Many will be engaged in productive activity. We create jobs for everyone in the country. We will not need to send our young people, our mother, to other nations. We will have a resilient economy that produce or generate jobs for everyone. So I would like to hear your comments. So share your thoughts in the comment section below. And also like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.